On the 24th September 2017, I seceded away from South Africa. Our geographical area consists of Northern Cape, Western Cape, and the Eastern Cape up to the Fish River, the gateway to Africa. Preceding this secession, the following events happened that gave justification to the process within the prescribed international and national law after exhausting all avenues to get recognition. I was sworn in as the king of my nation in 2001 at the last kraal in Genadendal. In the same year, I got custodianship of all Khoi land endorsed by the Chief Magistrate, Johan Venter, as referred to by the Chief Justice, John Schlope.
We are the owners of this country. We are the owners of this country. Mapolo, 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 Mapolo.
We are still being marginalized by the government of South Africa, where corruption is at the order of the day. This stops today. Today, the final phase of the secession was completed. I handed in an eviction notice to the government of South Africa and raised the flag of the sovereign state of Good Hope. We have always been the custodians of the land, as we were here before anyone else arrived on our shores. We lived in harmony and roamed our plains as we were a nomadic nation. We were one with the land and had no title deeds to lay claim to land, as we were part of the land. The land and us are one. Colonialists arrived and imposed on us their laws, and we, not being schooled in their ways, bartered and engaged them in a harmonious fashion, but were deceived as we became prey to their greed and found ourselves to be enslaved by them, even being hunted like animals. We fought, but our primitive weapons were inferior to their modern weapons at the time. Subsequently, as time passed, our territory became smaller as the settlers grew in numbers. As time went by, we were fading into non-existence by legislation, not of our own. Our forgiving nature prevailed, as we were not Christian beings, but spiritual beings. Hence, Christianity came easily because it was an extension of our own spirituality, as we were one with the Almighty. Centuries later, we found ourselves under the yoke of apartheid and still marginalized as a nation. We were being held down yet again by legislation and an inferior education system. Hence, during the 1970s, an awakening took place amongst us, whereby we fought for equal education. We also paid the ultimate price for freedom, but were under the boot of the regime at the time. However, the world started to take note of our plight. The majority of us stood our ground inside this country and did not go to neighboring countries in our thousands to fight for the liberation of our country. Today, we don't even get the recognition of the fight we fought. When the country was finally liberated in 1994, the dawn of a new era of hope and a dignified way of living was envisaged. 24 years after our liberation, we are still marginalized as a nation. 3 months after my declaration of secession, talks of land expropriation without compensation became the new buzzword. A new slogan, Uhuru, why genocide, became a focal point. Our country is moving in a downward spiral from which there will be no return. We are still one of the minority groups in this country. I ask myself, what if Uhuru is implemented? Where does that leave us as a nation? What is preventing the powers that be from engaging in xenophobic attacks on us after Uhuru has been completed, like they did to their own brothers? This government did us no favors at all since they came into power. Hence, I decided to sign an undertaking of unity with 4 groups of the population: the Khoi, Colored, Afrikaner, Boerevolk, and the Eurokaner. In the sovereign state of Good Hope, there is hope for all that is prepared to sign the oath of allegiance. Various freedoms and rights will be prevalent. Right to universal dignity and respect. Freedom of speech and expression. Freedom of conscience and belief. Freedom from want and freedom from fear. Opportunity freedom, capability freedom. The right to self-determination will be exercised by the 4 groups of the population I signed the undertaking of unity with. The unification of my people is paramount at this stage. Being spiritual, it is important for us to be forgiving. Nothing can be done about our past, but our future can be groomed from the mistakes we have learned from our past. My father always said that the fool learns from his own mistakes, whilst a wise man learns from others' mistakes. Last time I checked, we are not fools. We need to move forward without colored glasses and see people for who they really are. Here's an opportunity for us to be a role model to the world and our children, showing that harmony can exist amongst people irrespective of their past. The sovereign state of Good Hope is a country of second chances. Some of the leaders in our communities are confusing our people, even to the extent that they show open support to the Zulu kingdom that in turn should favor them where needed. Now that the Ingonyama Trust is safe, as stated by President Ramaphosa, what are you going to do now? Humble pie tastes bad on dry toast. I've been silent and took your verbal abuse for too long. Align yourself to a legal secession and be part of history, and as stated previously, the sovereign state of Good Hope is a place for second chances. From today onward, we are free. The government has 5 days to remove themselves from our borders, as indicated in the eviction notice. In closing, here with a quote by President Abraham Lincoln: "You cannot help the poor by destroying the rich. You cannot strengthen the weak by weakening the strong. You cannot bring about prosperity by discouraging thrift. You cannot lift the wage earner up by pulling the wage payer down. You cannot further the brotherhood of man by inciting class hatred. You cannot build character and courage by taking away people's initiative and independence. You cannot help people permanently by doing for them what they could and should do for themselves. My hands are extended, reaching out to you. What you do with this opportunity presented to you is entirely up to you. I wish you God's grace and peace until we will hear from me again. Kamapu."